Wait, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. We're exploring the moves shaping our tech future. And today, yeah, we're zooming right in on Mark Zuckerberg's Meta, specifically their big push into artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Especially with those pretty direct comments recently from Jensen Huang at Nvidia.
Right. And what's fascinating here, I think, is we need to get past the headlines. We're going to dig into the nuances of what was actually said, maybe what wasn't said too, and really try to connect the dots between Meta's strategy, these big plays, and just the wider AI landscape. The mission really is to give you a clearer picture of Meta's ambitions, sure, but also the hurdles they're facing.
Okay. And for that, we're pulling from a few places, right? We've got insights from Jensen Huang's talk at the All-In Summit. Then there are reports about Meta's, let's call it aggressive hiring. And some key financial data, too, looking at OpenAI, Meta's own valuation trends. So the goal is to figure out what this all really means for Meta, for their AI journey, and maybe for the future of AI itself. So let's kick off with Jensen Huang. I mean, he's seen as this huge figure in tech, isn't he? Not just for understanding AI deeply, but he has this almost philosophical way of talking about it. And he weighed in recently on Meta, grabbing all this AI talent. At the All-In Summit, we're talking about Meta supposedly poaching top folks from OpenAI, Alphabet, GitHub, Apple. You even hear these rumors of like $100 million signing bonuses. Crazy stuff. So what did Huang actually say about this Meta talent push?
Well, yeah, there's that video clip that went around. Huang addressed the hiring spree directly. He basically said that a team of, about 150 researchers, if they have the right funding, they could absolutely go and build a platform to rival OpenAI's ChatGPT. He pointed out that several AI models already competing with ChatGPT were actually built by teams of a similar size. Similar to what Zuckerberg is reportedly putting together now with Meta Superintelligence Labs, or MSL.
Okay, so on the surface, that sounds pretty positive for Meta, right? Coming from someone they call the godfather of AI.
Yeah.
But is there maybe a deeper context or something he didn't say that's just as important here?
You've hit on something really crucial there. While, yes, the comment sounded supportive, it wasn't like an explicit endorsement of Meta specifically. It was more a general observation,
Yeah.
about what's possible, what you can achieve with a talented, well-funded team. What he didn't really get into, and this is key for context, is the sheer intensity of the competition. The market reality that MSL is walking into. Look, Huang sells the chips, right? He benefits when everyone is building AI. So he's stating a kind of universal truth. Give smart people resources, they can build amazing things. It's not necessarily a prophecy that Meta will succeed over everyone else. The real test for Meta isn't just building a rival tech. It's winning in a market that is, frankly, cutthroat.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so given that competition, that landscape,
Yeah.
how does OpenAI's performance factor in? What do their financials, their reported revenue, tell us about the challenge Meta's stepping into?
Yeah. Oh, it tells us quite a bit. Reports, I think, from CNBC suggest OpenAI now has something like 3 million paying enterprise customers and an annual recurring revenue, ARR, of around $10 billion. Now, put that in perspective. Just last year, their estimated ARR was closer to $5.5 billion. So those numbers show they've almost doubled their ARR base in less than 12 months.
Wow, that's staggering growth. It really highlights OpenAI's incredible ability to pull in customers, accelerate growth, even with all this competition heating up from Anthropic, DeepSeek, Alphabet, you name it. That's a serious first-mover advantage Meta's got to deal with, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And these nuances, they matter hugely because Meta Superintelligence Labs, MSL, they don't just need to launch a product. They need to prove they can handle massive challenges.
Right.
Across product execution, sure, but also customer acquisition. And crucially, competing head-to-head with incumbents who already have that first-mover advantage, those deep customer bases. So Huang's comments really just imply Meta is investing strategically. They're serious about conquering AI. It doesn't mean they have some guaranteed path to knock off the current leaders. Not at all.
Right. So, okay, let's look at Meta stock then through this lens. How has the market reacted to this very public shift? From the metaverse focus to AI everywhere, feels like their valuation has been on quite a roller coaster.
It certainly has, yeah. Meta saw this pretty big expansion in its price-to-earnings ratio a couple of years back. The PE ratio, basically how much investors are willing to shell out for each dollar the company earns. And that expansion mostly happened when management started cutting costs significantly, particularly pulling back on the metaverse division, right? And then making that very strategic choice to pour those savings into AI work. Investors, well, they largely liked that shift, and the market started pricing in some of that potential upside from AI.
Okay, but you said with a roller coaster, it seems their PE levels have pulled back quite a bit over the last, say, 18 months. What's driving that? Is investor sentiment shifting again?
Well, that valuation reset, it suggests maybe investors don't fully appreciate the groundwork Zuckerberg and his team laid back then. It's possible the market got a bit ahead of itself, bought up the stock prematurely, only to sort of discount the longer-term upside of the AI opportunity now. The real takeaway, I think, from Meta's PE journey is this. The market did initially buy into the AI pivot, but now it seems maybe it's underestimating the sheer scale of the opportunity and the challenge that MSL represents. I mean, with MSL now formed, this roster of all-star talent ready to build and launch new AI services. Meta could be on the edge of a huge transformation, but from a valuation perspective, it still seems largely discounted. It's really a show-me-the-money moment for Meta's AI vision,
Right. Okay. So pulling this all together then, summarizing our journey through this deep dive, we've looked at this interesting contrast, haven't we, between Jensen Huang's general comment about AI potential and the much deeper market reality, the big challenges Meta is definitely facing. So what does this all mean for you listening, someone curious about where tech is heading?
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, these strategic shifts we've talked about, Meta pivoting away from the metaverse, investing massively in AI talent, it really highlights this fundamental battle, doesn't it? A battle for dominance in a tech frontier that's evolving incredibly fast. It's about more than just building the tech itself. It's market penetration, it's customer acquisition, it's sustaining growth, all in this fiercely competitive arena. And understanding that applying this knowledge to these real-world situations, that helps us see beyond just the headlines. That's where the value is.
Absolutely. So here's something for you to think about. With Meta assembling this all-star talent roster for MSL, committing billions, what do you think their biggest hurdle actually is? Is it truly out-innovating the established players like OpenAI? Or is it the perhaps less glamorous, but maybe harder task of simply acquiring customers in an already packed AI market? What stands out to you as the biggest takeaway from this deep dive into Meta's AI ambitions?